Mhm. 100th anniversary. It was 1920 and started Black History Week, and then 1976 when it started as Black History Month. So this is the 100th anniversary of this celebrating. And again, the scripture is clear. He that despises a neighbor is because of a lack of wisdom. And so when we're educating, not just ourselves, but everybody else, I mean, we all can look at people as who they are, not judgmental, not preconceived notions. And so that's what's powerful. So again, thank you, each and every one of you for spearheading this. And thank you who are watching. And by the way, we need you to spread the message. Let people know this is powerful, it's practical, and it's designed with your education and your empowerment in mind. So I close with this, and that is, they used to say that you're a product of your environment. And I was like, that's part right, but actually you're a product of your empowerment is what I say. And so we can change our empowerment by being part of this Black Hour of Power every day. By the way, Doc, the other day I was in tears just seeing people honoring other people that are so powerful. Unlike the crab in the bucket, one crab's trying to get out and they pull him back down. No, you're producing a reverse crab in the bucket. We're like saying, hey, Dr. Cassandra, you're doing good, but you can do even better. Go ahead, Tanisha, you got this, girl. Go ahead, Dr. Smile. Go ahead, Dr. Smiley. And so thank you again, and appreciate each and every one of you. I'm honored to be here with you.
Thank you so much. And finally, I'd like to have the voice of our director of events, who has a very, very big shoes to fill. She does all these events. We have over 300 events in February, and I don't know how we do without her. The Smile Channel rejoices because of her smile and her spirit. Thank you, Tanisha.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Smiley, for this vision and allowing me to participate and be a part of the execution of it all. We're excited about so many people being illuminated in this month. There is such a great opportunity. And the wonderful thing is that you still have time to participate. You still have time to share about the leader, the Black leader that is influencing and impacting you. So make sure you go into the comments and click the link where you can sign up to be a part of this Bold Leaders of Authority, Courage, and Knowledge. It is going on every single day in February, every single day for just 1 hour for you to share about the leader you know, and 1 hour for you to learn about leaders that you have not even heard of yet. I've already been reminded of some people that I had forgotten about, and been encouraged about some people that I was like, oh, I forgot they did that. Oh, I never heard of them. And so if you want to learn something new, if you want to be a part of someone else learning something new, then this is a great opportunity for you. And even more so, share it, share it on your socials, share it on your email list. Listen, copy the link and put it in your email list and blast it out for Black History Month, because we want you to be a part. So we thank you for supporting, and we look forward to bigger and better.
Well, I have a surprise for the three of you, because there are so many people we can speak about, and this month it actually taught me a lot about how people are ticking, like how they're inspired. But gratitude is when you actually share how someone touched your life. And I want to share this because there are not enough days in the month for me to speak about the people I would like to speak. But if anyone would like this list of 200 amazing, inspiring leaders, I am going to be speaking about several of them. But this list is available to you. It gives you ideas of who you can speak about. And there are 200, and I will whip through this a little quicker here. And you can have this absolutely for free. And please nominate somebody who wants to speak about a leader if it's not you. Thank you very much, and welcome to Black History Month, Hour of Power.
Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Cassandra Bradford. I am your hostess for the Hour of Power as we celebrate Black History Month. I'm so excited to be here. Man, we are having a phenomenal time highlighting and emphasizing some Black innovators, civil rights movers and shakers. I've learned so much by being a part of this phenomenal event. And so I want to get started this morning just thanking you guys for being present. And I want to talk to you guys today about Thomas Jennings. He was an inventor from 1791 to 1859. He was a free-born African-American tailor, businessman, and abolitionist in New York City, who became the first Black person to receive a United States patent on March 3rd, 1821. His patent, dry scouring, a precursor to modern dry cleaning, right? And used the profits to support the abolitionist movement and free his family from slavery. The invention Jennings developed was dry scouring. It was a method process for dry cleaning delicate garments without damaging and observing the limitations of conventional cleaning. Patent history. He was awarded the United States Patent 3306X for the method, which was crucial because at the time slaves were legally barred or banned from patenting any of their work. As an abolitionist and a leader, he was a prominent figure in the civil rights movement, securing or serving as a trustee in the Baptist Church and organizing the Legal Rights Association in 1855 to challenge discrimination. Jennings' success allowed him to purchase his family freedom and heavily fund abolitionist causes, and he was recognized and inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame in 2015. Can you guys believe that? That your clothes that you absolutely love, your suits, right? Those silks, those very beautiful garments that we buy, and some of us that we pay a lot of money for, that invention, dry cleaning, was invented by a Black man. And so I didn't know this until I started doing a brief research on him. Mr. Jennings, man, he has paved the way to how we look and feel today in our clothes. I mean, we all want to wear clean clothes. We all want to be beautiful and awesome, right? When we're going out, we don't want stains all on our clothes and damaging those expensive clothes because we don't know how to properly clean them. So hats off to Thomas Jennings for inventing dry cleaning and dry cleaning as we know it today. So listen, this is what we're going to do in this hour of power as we celebrate Black History and Black History Month. That is my little part in today's event. And so I want to jump straight in and introduce our first speaker. Man, we're going to have a great time today. Man, you guys are in for a treat. His name is Clifford Starks. He accelerated his way to the UFC in under a year, learning firsthand how judgment sharpens or breaks under real stakes. Today, he works with leaders operating in demanding arenas, helping them reduce unnecessary bruises by making cleaner decisions, tightening focus, and eliminating overcommitment. Per Mr. Starks, he trains leaders to turn pressure into clarity so they can win in the arena that are most valuable to them. So, Mr. Clifford Starks, take it away as you tell us about the person you're going to be highlighting in this Hour of Power in tribute to Black History Month.
Hey, thank you so much, Dr. Cassandra. Appreciate the introduction. And yeah, it's an absolute honor to be here sharing one of my mentors as I've gone through the journey, and that's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was absolutely an amazing human being. And even talking about turning pressure into clarity, as you can see, there's a ring back here, and that is a ring that I think we all step in. And some people realize that they're stepping into it, and some people step into it by accident. Well, as I went through my journey, I was very intentional in stepping into my ring, but I didn't know what I didn't know till I got into it. I didn't realize the pressures that were involved in getting into a space like that. And it makes me appreciate the spaces that Dr. Martin Luther King stepped in that much more. You know, the more we do something, the more appreciative we get because we realize how much courage it took to go into a space like that. And what I loved about Dr. King, he knew that there was something that was important and he shared it regardless of what the consequences may have been. And he believed so fully in his heart that he was going to stand by it, even if it cost him his own life. And it did. But as I looked through the journey with Dr. Martin Luther King, so he was born in Atlanta, Georgia in 1929. He was raised in a Black church where faith, leadership, and moral courage were formed early in his life. He was a Baptist minister first. His leadership came from conviction, not ambition. He believed lasting change had to be rooted in moral authority, not just political pressure. And he stood for equality under the law, dignity for all people, not special treatment, equal treatment. And what I love so much about his speech was so many people came together. They came together, and that shows we all want the same thing. And when someone has enough courage to speak that into existence, that's where clarity comes. Clarity comes from the willingness to speak, the willingness to stand for more, and the willingness to say, hey, this isn't right, and there's a better way. And that's what he stood on. And there's one quote that I absolutely love. Give me 1 second. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And I feel his message still rings not only then, but rings now, to say being judged by our character, being judged. And I also want to share, because I think there's a difference between judged and judgmental. It was something that I went through as I went through my process and my journey. Judgmental means to be critical, to lash out, to call people on all the crap that they're doing. To be judged means, hey, this is good or this is bad. This is right for this situation. This isn't right for this situation. And I feel we all should have our judge hat on, because when we have our judge hat on, we can win and win together and figure out, hey, where are we going? What are we doing? And Dr. Smiley and also Dr. Stan Breakthrough, I appreciate you having me on here, because I get to speak on Black leaders who have moved this nation in the way that they could only move the nation, in the way that they could say, hey, this is important. This is important, and I'm going to stand on it, and I'm going to speak on it, and I'm going to share. And there's one thing at the very end. He says, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, free at last. And as I've gone through my journey, I realize our words have power, a lot of it. And either we're using them or we're not. And when we use them, our actions take forth. And when our actions take forth, results come along. I go, thank God Almighty. Thank God. Because God positioned us to figure out how to come together, to figure out how to be here for one another. And I'm really appreciative of that, because I've gone through my scars, my bruises, my sometimes taking more bruises than I would have liked to take, but also saying I'm thankful for them, because the bruises and the scars are who made me who I am today. They've allowed me to look at other people and say, how can I support someone? How can I support them in their freedom? Because that's what we all want. We all want to be free, and we're all looking for freedom. And as I've navigated on my journey, realize how much, so much of it is in our head and in our hearts. And what Dr. Martin Luther King did that was so absolutely brilliant is he put the two together. He had the head knowledge to say there's a better way, and he had the heart to stand on that better way and say, hey, let's go find freedom. Let's go find freedom, and let's go be judged by our character and stay strong in our character, stand in our character. And what I've learned on my journey, everything comes down to our character. Because when it's all said and done, I know the people who talk about me are going to talk about how I showed up in my character. Not all the trophies I won, not all the thing like, oh, he won a lot when he was a fighter, or he did this when he was a wrestler, or he made these accomplishments. No, he heard me. He saw me. He believed in me. And I think when Dr. Martin Luther King was speaking, that's what he was speaking on. He believed in a better way. He saw a better way. and he spoke that better way out. So this is a tribute to him and what he stood for, because he stood so strong. It reminds me that I can stand strong too, even on the times that I don't want to. And they come. They come. There's times where I get nervous and my knees get a little bit weak. But I see him as a leader reminding me, oh, he stood strong and so can I. And hopefully I can be that for someone else as they're going through their journey. But Dr. Martin Luther King, I thank you for what you've brought to the table and who you are and how your message continues to ring to this day. Free at last. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Clifford. That was amazing. Dr. Martin Luther King's dream and message is still alive today. His pursuit for dignity, equal treatment, and civil rights is an awesome message for us, even to this day. And, if he's able to look down on us right now, I hope he can see that his pursuit of the dream is still activated um, even now in the world, that we're still pursuing peace and justice and equality. So, man, that was so awesome, Clifford. Thank you so much. And hopefully we all have a dream, and so we all want to live in freedom, just as you said. So, oh my God, that was awesome. So listen, we are still celebrating our hour of power in Black History Month. And I want to bring onto the stage, as we say, Linda Ship. Linda is a proud native of Meridian, Mississippi. And she has three siblings, and she also is the mother of three. I guess three runs in her family, y'all. And she's a retired social worker. Most recently, she's a published author. And Linda is going to be talking to us about Dr. Angela Davis. Linda? Linda, you're on mute. There we go.
Linda, it's all you. You can go ahead and give your presentation.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Linda L. Ship. My person that inspired me to greatness is Dr. Angela Davis. I love one of her quotes that says, I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. That is so powerful to me. Dr. Angela Davis was born in segregated Birmingham, Alabama in 1944. Angela grew up in an area called Dynamite Hill. The place got its name because of the frequent explosions ignited by the Klan. Despite the many roadblocks she faced, she still was able to study in New York, Germany, and France. She earned her PhD in philosophy. Dr. Davis was influenced by the Marxist theory, which was developed in the 19th century. The theory is based on socioeconomic and political worldviews and analyzing history through the lens of class struggle and material conditions. Dr. Davis is one of the most recognized political activists of the 1960s and 70s. She gained national attention in 1969 when she was hired as an assistant professor of philosophy at UCLA. However, her tenure there was short-lived because she was fired by then Governor Ronald Reagan due to her membership in the Communist Party, as well as her affiliation with the Black Panther Party. She did not take being fired calmly. Oh no. Angela Davis went to court and won her case to reclaim her position as assistant professor of philosophy. However, her contract was not renewed. The following year, Angela was charged as an accomplice to conspiracy, kidnapping, and murder, all because some guns were used to commit some crimes were were in Angela's name. Therefore, she was charged as an accomplice. Angela Davis' arrest sparked an international campaign to demand her release. The chant was "Free Angela Davis." After spending 18 months in jail in 1972, after a high-profile trial, she was acquitted of all charges. Dr. Davis then campaigned for the vice president of the Communist Party of the U.S. in the 1980s and 84 presidential election. Angela Davis made many contributions to improve the conditions of the oppressed and the disadvantaged. As a member of the Black Panther Party, she helped start a free breakfast program as well as an after-school program for all children, regardless of race. The actions of the Black Panther Party prompted the U.S. government to start a free breakfast program for poor children in America. I found that fascinating that because of what the Black Panther Party started, it ignited the United States government to do something because they felt that the party was doing more for the American people than the government was. Dr. Davis is also an author of over 60 books. Her first 3 publications were Women, Race, and Class, Are Prisons Obsolete, and Freedom is Constant. Today, I honor Dr. Angela Yvonne Davis, who now, at age 82, is a professor emerita at the University of California at Santa Cruz. She remains an active voice in social justice and prison abolition, also international solidarity. Dr. Davis inspired greatness in me because of her style, her resilience, and the way she never accepted the status quo.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, I love Dr. Angela Davis. Man, I have followed her career most of my life. Man, it's funny when what you do, you think what you do personally is recognized by the President of the United States that
Right.
made him want to fire you. So you're like, she was fired by the best. When you get fired by the president. So, and she's an author just like you with over 60 books. And I like her saying too, I am no longer accepting the things that I cannot change.
Yes.
Man, normally it's the older folks that say that, but I'm
Right.
telling you, we definitely need to embody that to this very day. So thank you so much, Linda, for sharing about my shero, Angela Davis.
Yeah.
And she's still alive today, still pursuing justice and peace, right? She is still out here on the battlefield. And so thank you so much for sharing her story and our hour of power as we pay tribute to Black History Month. Thank you so much, Linda, for that.
Very well.
And man, Linda, I know there's so much you can probably share about Angela Davis, being a part of the Black Panther Party and the movement, and feeding communities, which, like you said, was more than what the government was doing at the time.
Right. The Black Panther Party got a bad rap on a lot of things because they did more good than what was being publicized.
Mm-hmm.
They,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
they really took care of the community, all people in the community. It wasn't just not for the Black children. They took care of all children, all poor children, made sure they had breakfast, made sure there was after school care for them. They just did so much for our community that they never got credit for.
Yeah. And well, how many more of our civil rights leaders didn't get credit for the things that they've done? So
Exactly.
yeah. So thank you so much. And we're going to move into our next speaker, you guys. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this hour of power with us as we pay tribute to Black History Month. I want to introduce our next speaker, which is Ken Miller. Ken is an entrepreneur, an author, and a speaker. Uh, he fundraises. He's a strategist. He helps nonprofits and tribal organizations build resilience, raise capital, and lead with clarity. Oh, that's my alarm. Sorry, y'all. And I want to start over with Ken Miller. I want to give him his honor. Ken is an entrepreneur, author, and speaker, certified fundraising strategist, helping nonprofits and tribal organizations build resilience, raise capital, and lead with clarity, integrity, and measurable impact worldwide. And so, Ken, I want to welcome you to the stage, and so you can give a homage and tribute as we celebrate Black History Month.
Thank you very much. I'm very appreciative. I'm appreciative of the opportunity to speak and to share my truth, because this is my lived experience. And it's not that I'm different than others, because I'm not. I'm still a Black man, no matter what my background. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit why I've chosen Arthur Ashe. And I think the important thing, a big one of it, is my why. So my historical figure is Arthur Ashe, who was a tennis player in the 70s and the 80s and the 60s. But let me tell you a little bit about my background to understand why do I resonate with Arthur Ashe. I grew up in New York, upstate New York. I was born in 1962. I'm 63 years old now. But I grew up maybe a little differently than many. I was put up for adoption at birth. I did 6 years of foster homes. And then at age 12, age 6, I was adopted. And at age 12, I moved from upstate New York, and I'm talking country New York, to Anchorage, Alaska. And so I did not grow up, quote unquote, within a Black community. I was a biracial child that did not grow up in a Black community. I did not grow up in the Southern Baptist, AME type of church. I had very few Black friends. When I was in upstate New York, I was the only Black male in my school. So I had a little different background when it came, but I always identified as African American or Black. And I was thinking about that. Back in the 60s, we were called colored. And then we went to Negro, and then we went to Afro-American, then we went to African American. Now we're Black or people of color, but the same thing. We still get treated the same way in many, many environments and experiences that we have, especially as Black men and women. So I just identified predominantly as a child of God and as a Black man. That's my choice. So picture this, I'm 12 years old. I moved to Anchorage, Alaska. And my mom said, hey, we're up in Alaska now. You might as well learn how to ice skate and play hockey. And also, what else you want to play? What sports? And I was a little small. So I said, look, I'll pick up tennis. And so I began playing tennis. And so here you have this downhill skiing, tennis playing, 1975. I go to ski, and I would be the only Black man on that, or a Black teenager especially, on the slopes. I played tennis. Very, very few African Americans playing tennis at that time. And then I, was reading, and I identified there was this big match in 1975 in the Wimbledon between Jimmy Connors and Arthur Ashe. And I'm like, wow, he wears glasses too. That was the first thing I noticed. It's a Black gentleman playing tennis at the highest level, and it was a great upset. that he had done to beat Jimmy Connors. And Jimmy Connors was this like angry white guy. And you've got to understand that Arthur Ashe was one of the most graceful, kindest, softest from what you saw exterior wise, but behind the scenes, he was doing great things. So in 1968, he won the US Open, was the first Black man to win a Grand Slam Open in tennis. He was on the Davis Cup teams, played for the United States for many years, went to college at UCLA and wore glasses. And then he began with his platform as being one of the top tennis players in the world, Wimbledon, US Open, Davis Cup. He began getting involved in the civil rights, or had really been doing this throughout. But he was more of a quiet, gentle, but strong advocate. So he spoke out against racial injustice and apartheid. Back in the 70s, South Africa was a big thing. And it was, what I mean by it was a big thing because you had Soweto and you had all the negativity toward the African population in South America. And we were speaking out. And he was one of the greatest advocates of speaking out against South Africa back when it could have been repercussions. He also was an advocate because he had something happen to him that was very, very rare and unusual. And what happened was he picked up HIV through a blood transfusion. And he lived with that until it killed him in 1993. But he talked about it. And back in those days, it was the gay disease or it was the Haitian disease. And people weren't advocating until literally he began advocating and talking about, I'm just a normal, quote unquote, I don't want to use the word normal, but I am a married man that I picked it out through this transfusion. And until him and really Magic Johnson began speaking about it, it took down some of the barriers, especially in the Black community, towards how we looked at individuals that had AIDS and HIV. And then he did quite a bit in the areas of education and access. He had foundations and youth programs, expanded access to tennis and education. His enduring influence, remember, he died in 1993. I believe there's three things. Number one, he wrote one of the best autobiographies, I believe, ever, and it was called Days of Grace. And I loved the book. I read it when it first came out. And what he said in that book, and I had to look this up, you know, what is grace? In the biblical sense, grace is unmerited favor, love, and kindness bestowed upon humanity despite our sins, okay, the original sin and our sins. And he manifested that, the kindness, when you heard him speak, the kindness in his interactions with others, the love of Black people that he tried to assist and support, whether in South Africa or the United States, was incredible. And so you read this book, and he also talks about his legacy, and because he knows he's dying. He's writing the book and he knows he's dying and he has limited time, and you can see it and picture that as he's writing. So he has an influence there. He has an influence on the Arthur Ashe Stadium. So the number one stadium, the big station at the US Open in New York, is named after him. And then he also has a model of leadership that demonstrated that athletes could lead with quiet strength, intellectual rigor, I love intellectual rigor, and moral clarity. You knew where he stood because he would go on shows and talk about that and advocate for those that he believed in. I'm going to leave you with just two quotes, one on quiet strength and discipline. And Arthur Ashe said this very simply. He said, true heroism is remarkably sober, very undramatic. It is not the urge to surpass all others at whatever cost, but the urge to serve others at whatever cost. Beautiful. And then he talked about it, mortality, illness, and purpose. After contracting HIV from a blood transfusion, Arthur Ashe reflects on this and he says, from what we get, we can make a living. From what we give, however, makes a life. And I believe that is so beautiful. What is your life? What are you giving out? What are you doing that's positive for the community, whatever community that you believe that you belong to or want to advocate for? So that is why I've chosen Arthur Ashe as my individual that I wanted to give flowers to, I wanted to bring forth. I would hope maybe someone might want to get his book and read it, or at least take upon themselves that our experiences are a myriad as Black people. And I'm a Ivy League graduate. I'm an intellectual. I came up in a different maybe world than many other African Americans, but I still advocate, and I'm very, very strong for our community. And my community is the Black community. So again, my name is Ken Miller. If you'd like to talk to me more, feel free to go to my website, Ken Miller Speaks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ken. Arthur Ashe was a very kind man. I was able to meet him in my lifetime, and because my mother was a civil rights organizer, and he was a very gentle soul. And when you quote him, true heroism is remarkably sober, the urge to serve others at whatever cost. And this is the true message of community. This is the true message of service. And so when we call ourselves a servant leader, or we want to serve in the community, we can take notes from Arthur Ashe, because he did everything with such grace and kindness that it seemed like it's missing today. So thank you so much. And it's really remarkable because, like, as you said, when he was diagnosed with AIDS, his platform, along with Magic Johnson, was able to transform how the world thought about how one can receive that disease. And so it wasn't just from some kind of sexual promiscuity, but it was from a drug, from a blood infusion. So, wow, thank you so much for sharing about Arthur Ashe. He is one of our great leaders, and we pay homage to him during Black History Month. So thank you so much for bringing his story alive and making it so relatable for us. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. And so we are continuing this journey as we celebrate Black History Month with our Hour of Power, as we highlight Black African Americans who have paved the way for many of us in this world and as of today. And some people that we'll be sharing about we may have never heard of. And so we're going to shed light on some of them. So we're educated and informed about all the great things that they've done in their lifetime. So I'm going to bring to the stage Damika Evans. Damika Evans is a high vibes coach, author, and co-owner of DNA Events with a Purpose. She is the creator of the empowering platform, the Vibe High Experience, which spreads powerful message of self-awareness and personal growth. Damika's mantra is simple yet profound. Know yourself, accept yourself, and be the best version of yourself. How you doing, Damika?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. So who are you sharing about today?
Listen, you heard the mantra, know yourself, accept yourself, be the best version of yourself. So I'm speaking today about Eugenia Burns Hope, who was I would say a Atlanta native, right? But not really a native. She just came here. She was brought in with her husband, who is the president of Morehouse. So she is the first lady of Morehouse. She was the first lady of Morehouse, and she's a community organizer. So I want to just go over a little bit about why I connect with her, and then I'm just going to read a monologue to you guys that I wrote to speak about what I would say if I was in her shoes as her. Okay. So like I said, she's a community organizer. She started something called the union. It was the community union. So what she did was she educated during the civil rights movement on, she gave people education, right? She educated on voting, democracy. She educated on healthcare, just all the things that that was hitting or not taught to us. She was able to start these unions to get us educated. And what I would say, I will go back to why she was doing that, because we needed to know ourselves. We needed to know who we were. We were told that we were nothing. So she had to say, this is who you are, accept it, right? And be the best version. How do you be the best version? Is know your stuff, know what you need to know. Now, she is going to be celebrating a birthday this month, February 19th. So it is really exciting to even put this energy into this vibration into the universe with talking about her. She also during the wars started with the YWCA. She did War Work Council. So she was one of the people who, when even the Jewish ex-slaves, she was able to what I would consider reform. I'm relating to her because that's what I do. I do reform. I want people who are entering into life, returning into life, to understand the thought process of life and how to get through it. That is knowing yourself, accepting yourself, being the best version of yourself. So I am honored to resonate with Eugenia Burns. She's, like I said, she's the first female vice president of the NAACP. Of course, any Black female leader that was actually making noise at that time, NAACP definitely reached out. She started the Union School back in 1908. So that Union School was the school of education, and she educated all over actually. But this started in Atlanta. Eugenia Burns is a reason that we have Section 8 programs. She fought for us to have affordable housing, for us to have, because we were not on a level to get what other ethnic backgrounds and whites predominantly were able to have access to. So she fought for those rights for us. Now, I just want to read a quick monologue to you guys that I wrote on Eugenia Burns. And this is what she's really standing for. They call me Eugenia Burns. Let me put it right here so I can look at you guys. They call me Eugenia Burns Hope. Some know me as the First Lady of Morehouse College, the wife of John Hope. But I did not borrow my voice from my husband. I earned it in the streets, in the shadows, in the homes where Black families were told their suffering did not matter. I saw my people denied clean streets, denied hospitals, denied dignity. And I refuse to accept that neglect as fate. Near Morehouse College, I helped build something powerful, a neighborhood union, not a charity, a command center, a place where Black voices were counted, organized, and heard. We studied the conditions of our community, and then we demanded change. Because survival should not require silence. But the greatest resistance did not always come from men in power. Sometimes it came from women who looked like allies, yet turned away when the truth made them uncomfortable. When I spoke against lynching, when I named the terror inflicted on Black bodies, I expected white women to stand beside us. We shared womanhood, did we not? We shared humanity, and still they objected. They urged restraint. They asked for patience. They asked me to soften my words. But I said, it is difficult for me to understand why my white sisters so strenuously object to this honest expression of colored women. After all, when we yield to public opinion and make ourselves say only what we think the public can stand, is there not a danger that we may find ourselves with our larger view coinciding with those with a narrow view demand? I would not shrink my truth to fit their comfort. Justice does not whisper. Justice demands to be heard. I knew protest alone was not enough. A people must be prepared to claim their freedom. So we created citizenship schools, places where Black men and women learned how to vote, how democracy worked, how the Constitution belonged to them too. Because ignorance was never accidental. It was designed. In education, education was our rebellion. I became the first vice president of the Atlanta chapter of the NAACP, not for ceremony, not for applause, but for action. I organized, I strategized, I challenged systems that depended on our exhaustion. I lived in a world that praised my position, but questioned my power. I was expected to be gracious, quiet, supportive, but history does not move forward. Politeness alone. It does not move forward on politeness alone. I was a wife. I was a mother. I was a leader. I was a woman who understood that hope is not a feeling. Hope is discipline, hope is courage, and hope is work. And I worked. So when you speak my name, do not remember me only as the First Lady of Morehouse College. Remember me as a woman who refused to be silent, who refused to wait, and who refused to let fear decide for the future. Because hope, real hope, never stands still. So that is my monologue on Eugenia Burns Hope. My name is Damika Evans. You can follow me at Damika Evans or the Vibe High Experience on any platform. And you can also go to my website for bookings at thevibehighexperience.com. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Wow, this is phenomenal. I had never heard of Eugenia Burns Hope, the First Lady of Morehouse and the first Black woman to become president of the NAACP Atlanta chapter. What is she that knowing yourself, accepting yourself, justice does not whisper. It sure doesn't.
Listen.
And refuse to allow fear to decide our future. Man, many of us are walking in fear. Even to this day, look at the plight of our country at the time of this airing, but we don't operate in fear.
No.
And, we have her words to hang on to and to live by and to give us hope.
Absolutely. Isn't that funny? That's her name, Eugenia Burns Hope.
I know, right? She said she didn't live on her husband's name.
No,
right?
she did not want to.
Came
She
to
was out
affect
there
change.
working. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I absolutely love this. And I want to thank all of the speakers. If you can all come back in and join me. I want to thank all of the speakers for illuminating some of our great leaders, some that they don't teach about in schools, right? Some of them we have never heard of before until listening to this broadcast. And so I want to thank each one of you for sharing about Arthur Ashe, about Eugenia Burns Hope, about Dr. Angela Davis. We have so much heritage. Man, that's just lying dormant that we don't know about. So I'm so honored that we're bringing this to light so that we can honor our leaders. Dr. Smiley, you want to jump on and jump in and comment and
so that's what I'm telling him, because you got to line some kind of book launch up.
All right. So just one second. All right. So how about everyone come on in and we're going to all share what we learned and how much we celebrate each other and the people we chose.
Yes.
And thank you all for being part of this wonderful hour and all the people that you've nominated as well. Linda, did you want to go first?
Sure. I'm just so excited to be here today to share my story about Dr. Angela Yvonne Davis. She's been my shero for a long time because I actually grew up during that era of the movement. And it was just exciting for me to share her story here today to the many people who may not have known her lifestyle. And some people think that she's deceased, but she is still alive and well at age 82, still working and still an activist, still working for the underserved and the disadvantaged.
Well, we want you to invite her so she can share her perspective as well.
Well, that would be phenomenal.
Let's do it. That would be amazing. You know, Kalia Ali, Muhammad Ali's wife, is actually going to be on later this month. I think it's next week, actually. Oh. And I had dinner with her, so she's going to be a really wonderful voice to add to the program.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's go around to Clifford. Would you like to share?
Yeah. First, I want to thank everybody for their amazing wisdom and the leaders that they spoke on. And I actually took some notes because I say, if we don't take away and take an action, then it didn't matter, right? And as leaders, what I got from D'Amica, Regina earned it. She earned her voice. She stood for what she stood for. And she also said, you can't win on kindness alone. I had to learn that one the hard way. I like being kind to people, but it's about standing for clarity and truth and saying, wait, everyone deserves this. Everyone deserves this. Everyone deserves an opportunity. Everybody deserves their voice to be heard. And so thank you for that. And then Linda with Angela, what I got was resilience. You know, she got fired by the president, and that only gave her even more strength to do what she was doing. And she kept moving. And I honestly, I didn't know the Black Panthers did as much as they did. I really didn't. And I go, okay, our messages constantly are, we're the ones who keep the message alive and keep it flaring up and keep it moving. So thank you for that. And then with, let me see here, Author Ash, I heard kindness, and I heard that not only from Ken, but I heard it from Dr. Cassandra saying that she actually had the opportunity to meet Arthur Ashe. And I changed it from kind to kind leader. He was kind and he kept moving forward. He kept doing what he was doing. So I'm going to stand on being kind, being resilient, and sharing my voice. And that's because of all of you. So thank you so much.
And
This is another problem that I actually notice about myself. I didn't even mention me and Dr. King. Dr. King was a man of presence. He was a man who stood for something that we all really want to stand for. He just was open enough and courageous enough to say it. I have a dream, free at last. And so I'm going to live in freedom. I'm going to live freely. And I'm just going to spread that message. So thank you, everybody.
Wonderful. D'Amica?
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, I'm going to start with the takeaway I took from the speakers. First of all, everybody did amazing. Thank you for feeding that energy to me today. My biggest takeaway was Arthur Ashe. Just because yes, I heard the name, but it was getting educated on him today. What I love, the two biggest things that I took away, is the perseverance. The Vibe High experience key is perseverance, and how we got to maneuver through life no matter how life presents itself to us. Life goes on, so we have to go on. So I love how he moved on and made awareness to that, even though he did it so early, and I don't think we got awareness until probably like 10 or 15 years later. I think him putting that vibration out there is definitely helping a lot of people's lives today. So he didn't take that selfishly and just say, I give up and I'm going to be in depression. You know, he persevered, he became great, and he's actually, his energy and that vibration is helping life today still. So that's my takeaway from what the speakers gave me. I don't want to be long. I just want to kind of say, when I was speaking about Eugenia Burns, I almost cried, guys, reading that monologue that I did, and I still got a little bit of tears back here. I'm really big on history. I'm attracted to history. I've always been since a kid, and not because I'm a nerd, because I'm nosy and I want to know what happened then to make things happen today. I always wanted to know. I always want to put puzzles together. So I already talked about Eugenia Burns at a time. This was my second time bringing her to a platform. And it was deeper this time. Oh my God, am I getting emotional? It was deeper this time because like these people fought, and I teach the youth that. I'm a youth advocate, case manager. And I teach them to understand and appreciate what we got today, because people really died. People really fought, and the fight is not over. And I'm not just saying in Black history, just period in life, right? Life is life. And we all have to understand that we have a responsibility in existence when you're here to make life better for us and for the next generations to come. It is our due diligence, right? So I really resonate with Eugenia Burns' Hope because of all that energy. She did not let herself be the pretty wife that sat next to her husband. And she could have done that. They made enough money to do that. And it wasn't about that. It was about change. Like me, I want to be in a history book. So she made history by putting that vibration out and making change in our life, in our world. Today, we still living off of Section 8. People still get to live off of the things that these people had done. Arthur Ashe, Eugenia Burns, Martin Luther King, Angela, all of them did something to make us be able to do this right here today. So I got a big takeaway. It was very fulfilling for me. So I just wanted to say that and thank you again. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And especially thank you, Dr. Cassandra Bradford. I'm so glad to see your smiling face 2 times. Linda won the award today with being the first one to smile, but you certainly are in second place with that beautiful smile. Please accept this really heartfelt thank you for sharing these words. I learned a lot as well. And my mission is for this to get out to the world. So I have put a link in the chat. Please share this. Thank the person who invited you. And most importantly, there are 5 days before today that you can share those programs as well. We have a lot of people that have commented on how much they've learned. It's a very valuable hour, and you guys did an exemplary job. And Dr. Bradford, is there anything you want to say in closing as a host?
Man, I had a phenomenal time again. You guys shared one of my sheroes, Dr. Angela Davis, and I learned so much about Thomas Jennings. I did meet Arthur Ashe, and it was a kind, gentle soul. So, wow, we have learned about some folks that some of us didn't know anything about. And that was the purpose. And so thank you so much for inviting me to be the hostess for this hour of power.
All right. Well, we'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. And then starting next week, we will be at 12 p.m. So it'll shift the clock a little bit. So people that have a hard time getting up on the West Coast can now get up a little later and enjoy this hour of power. Please share this and know that when you share these wonderful messages and these inspiring leaders, you could make a difference in saving someone's life. You could make a difference in having them light up and saying, you know what, I want to be like that person. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Stay powerful. Okay. Thank you very much, ladies. The link is on the side in the chat. You're welcome to share that to your heart's content. And D'Amica, you did a wonderful job. Thank you. Beautiful smile
Thank
to you
you.
as well.
Thank you. Have